There's nothing to hide. I know there's not, because I've seen what the case is built on. Let everyone see what true evil is.
She thinks it's a solid case at least, and is saying, show everybody what you have so they can see true evil. Within her capacity of chairman and CEO of Turning Point USA, they could be more transparent about what happened that day. People don't like the stuff that they've seen about Mikey McCoy. They don't like what they've seen about Rob.
I want to thank the Turning Point USA board and my husband's chief of staff, the amazing Mikey McCoy.
To believe. Courage is hope in action.
And here's what I believe. Courage is simply hope in motion. All right, everyone, the moment everyone had been waiting for has finally happened. Candace Owens has openly criticized Erika Kirk, making bold remarks suggesting that Erika may have played a role in boosting TPUSA chief Mikey McCoy's image to position him as Charlie's potential successor. Remember, Mikey McCoy was standing just a few feet away from Charlie during that tragic moment. But instead of reacting, he quietly turned around and began speaking to someone on the phone. While TPUSA appeared more concerned with safeguarding Erika and Mikey's reputations, the public felt that the organization was ignoring what truly mattered: the truth and justice for Charlie. Ironically, it was Candace Owens, someone frequently seen as controversial, who became the only public voice demanding transparency, asking real questions and pushing for honest answers. Meanwhile, Erika shifted her focus toward discussing new ventures and future opportunities.
Gave assurance to people that Turning Point USA is continuing, and it is. I mean, we are so blessed to have more work than we even could ever dream of. I mean, it's beautiful.
That hopeful tone made many wonder, is everything truly resolved? Or is this only the beginning? This is where Erika's behavior starts to draw attention. She appears to be in a state of calm yet quiet panic.
I founded Turning Point USA to tell young people in America that there's a better way than big government and old school corruption.
Especially after Candace Owens continued to dig deeper, releasing documents that reportedly could implicate Erika and TPUSA in a mysterious internal plot connected to what happened to Charlie. According to public reports, TPUSA is said to be threatening Candace with legal action and pursuing a restraining order to stop her from disclosing further details. But that move only seemed to strengthen Candace's resolve. She recently released a set of receipts, evidence suggesting that several prominent figures within TPUSA may be involved in questionable activities extending far beyond the original matter. Without stopping at Erika or the Romanian Angels organization she founded, Candace also directed attention toward Tyler Bohr, the senior executive director of TPUSA, accusing him of engaging in inappropriate relationships with young interns and contacting foster homes in Ukraine, which she described as situations full of hidden twists. Candace stated that she had tried to stay patient and neutral with Erika, but now every boundary had been crossed. She accused Erika of losing focus on uncovering the truth about her husband's case, choosing instead to promote the image of TPUSA's new leadership, attending events, smiling and speaking enthusiastically about a new mission.
I've received an unbelievable amount of emails from people that are convinced that Charlie's actually still alive, right? And it's not sad because those people are crazy. They're actually reacting to the lack of emotion and the lack of drive that is coming out of Turning Point USA to figure out who killed him. Yeah, that is how absurd they are acting. Just move on. Just donate to Turning Point USA. This is what Charlie would want. And that's his legacy.
That statement was like dropping a spark into a boiling pot of oil. Many believed Candace had crossed the line, yet a significant number of viewers sensed that something wasn't right. Candace revealed she had received hundreds of messages from people expressing that something still felt hidden, that TPUSA seemed distant and uninterested in uncovering the real cause behind the incident. They didn't believe Charlie was still alive. They believed the truth had never been fully exposed. Meanwhile, TPUSA maintained its familiar tone. Keep supporting, keep donating. This is what Charlie would have wanted. But Candace didn't stop there. She declared that this was only the beginning of a journey to remove the mask, and that light always finds a way through the darkness. Her words froze the internet for a brief moment, before a storm of reactions erupted once again. In a more recent episode of her show, Candace Owens went straight to the point, her first direct on-air conversation with Erika Kirk. No more hints, no more speculation from a distance. Candace looked straight into the camera and said, "Erika, you're acting like a CEO managing a company, not like someone searching for the truth about her husband."
Would not have been my advice for Erika in a stage of grieving to go from being the widow to being the CEO and the chairman of the company. If I was running the company, I would have said, let's put in place an interim CEO, right? Someone below. Justin Strife, I think, was the COO. I would have put in an interim CEO and allowed people to figure things out.
Candace even brought up Justin Strife, the COO of TPUSA, saying he appeared perfectly capable of taking over temporarily. If I were in that position, she said, I would suggest letting Justin handle things for now. Let the organization keep functioning. And Erika, you need to take some time to find yourself. But what left Candace and the audience most unsettled was Erika's recent TV interview with Jesse Waters. In that interview, Erika seemed to fully accept the official account of Charlie's case, from the cause of his passing to the suspect being taken into custody. Candace paused for a few seconds during her show, then said quietly, I listened to that interview, and I have to admit, it gave me chills. Not because of what she said, but because of what she didn't, she questioned. Why would someone who was Charlie's wife and partner for so many years accept that explanation so easily? Didn't she want to know more? Didn't she want to review the evidence? Didn't she want to confront the unanswered questions? Candace felt that Erika's calm demeanor seemed less like natural composure and more like a deliberate effort to maintain her image. Then, the show transitioned to what was meant to be its central highlight, Erika's interview, where she began speaking about cameras being allowed in the upcoming trial.
The defense wants to ban cameras in the courtroom. How do you feel about that?
There were cameras all over my husband when he was murdered. There have been cameras all over my friends and family mourning. There have been cameras all over me, analyzing my every move, analyzing my every smile, my every tear. We deserve to have cameras in there. Why not be transparent? There's nothing to hide. I know there's not, because I've seen what the case is built on. Let everyone see what true evil is. This is something that could impact a generation and generations to come.
The statement stirred the public and ignited two opposing reactions. One side saw it as a bold, courageous declaration, reflecting a desire for transparency and justice. The other side viewed it as a carefully orchestrated media performance, each word selected to evoke sympathy while avoiding any legal specifics. Candace, in her characteristic sharp style, commented, I understand she wants to appear strong, but there is a very thin line between genuine strength and the image of strength. When people try too hard to prove they are okay, it usually means they are afraid of something. Those words resonated across social media for days. Erika's supporters argued that Candace lacked empathy, claiming no one has the right to judge another's grieving process. But others, those who suspect there is more beneath the surface of the case, said Candace voiced what many only dared to think. One widely shared comment read, If you've truly lost someone you love, you're asking for the truth, not the presidency. That tension made this episode one of the most charged encounters between Candace and Erika Kirk. Candace concluded with a striking line. I don't want more speeches, more memorial videos, more hashtags, more campaigns. I just want one thing, the truth. And if it's not released voluntarily, the light will eventually come. The room fell silent, leaving everyone uncertain whether Candace was merely making a statement or issuing a warning. Candace, Owens insists there is something amiss in the way Erika continues to accept and repeat the words of federal investigators. Even while acknowledging that there are loose ends in the official story, Candace's voice grows firm. It's strange that someone in Erika's position wouldn't ask for more evidence or explanations when so many details don't add up. She frames it as trust, but it comes across as a deliberate silence. Candace hints that this silence may not be accidental. She suggests that Erika's hesitation to demand full transparency could be because doing so might inadvertently reveal the involvement of Turning Point USA and certain individuals within the organization in the events of September 10th, a day Candace calls one that fundamentally reshapes the story. She added, the whole energy is so clear now.
He was behind the tent when Charlie got shot, and Mikey, in less than a second, does something that I find to be quite strange. He puts his phone to his ear, and he begins a conversation.
Even though everything appears logical on paper, the public remains unconvinced. They don't trust the story being presented. They don't accept the conclusions that have been shared. And honestly, I can't blame them. When so many pieces don't align, skepticism is natural. Candace stressed that the interview was only a small part of the bigger picture, Yet it was enough to ignite thousands of debates across social media.
And I'm watching, the minute Charlie was shot, he called me, says, "Dad, Charlie's been shot in the neck. Please call every pastor and pray." I said, "Okay, son." He has wits about him. He was just directing. He had blood all over him. And
She revealed that she had gone through the entire case file, examined every frame, and reviewed every testimony, stating that the case is not as solid as many believe. She emphasized that Erika, as president and CEO of TPUSA, has the authority to ensure transparency, to request the release of data, videos, and detailed reports about what truly happened that day. Yet, instead of taking action, she chose to stay silent, leaving the public unsettled and questioning.
The entire issue and the energy right now is that people, irrespective of what's happening on paper, don't believe the story. They don't believe a story. And you are, and of course, this is only a snippet of the interview, so I'm sure more will be said here. But I'm getting that you have seen the case. You think it's a solid case. She thinks it's a solid case at least, and is saying, show everybody what you have so they can see true evil. Within her capacity of chairman and CEO of Turning Point USA, they could be more transparent about what happened that day. People don't like the stuff that they've seen about Mikey McCoy. They don't like what they've seen about Rob McCoy. They don't like the history of Rob and Mikey McCoy and their involvement here. They don't like the video of Terrell. They don't believe what time text messages were sent or when the phone calls took place. You know, Rob McCoy is lying. In the areas that you can control the transparency, I think doing that would be beneficial to Turning Point USA, because I don't think Turning Point USA is going to survive.
And in those few seconds, the audience seemed to realize that the story between Erika, TPUSA, and Candace Owens was far from over. Let's take a closer look at Turning Point USA and the figures Candace has criticized. First on the list is Mikey McCoy, TPUSA's chief of staff, whom Erika Kirk publicly praised in her first appearance after Charlie's passing. "My husband's chief of staff, Mikey McCoy, is awesome," she said. But that same awesome Mikey has now become the center of heated debate on social media. Candace asked viewers to revisit exactly what happened on September 10th. According to publicly released videos, Mikey McCoy was standing right behind Charlie at the critical moment. Candace pointed out that it wasn't just his position that drew attention, but his immediate reaction. He didn't flinch. He didn't respond like someone witnessing a serious incident. Instead, Mikey calmly put the phone to his ear and walked away as if he already knew what was happening. Candace emphasized that Mikey didn't stop to check on Charlie or call for help, a reaction she argued is far from a natural human response in such a situation. But the story doesn't end there. Mikey's father, Pastor Rob McCoy, later offered a completely different version. He claimed that Mikey called him immediately after the incident, saying, "Dad, Charlie's in serious trouble. Please call the pastors and pray." Candace paused the video and asked pointedly, if that call really happened, how could Mikey have appeared so calm just seconds later? And why don't the details his father described match the video? She added, "What's even stranger is that Pastor Rob mentioned details that don't exist in the footage, as if he were reconstructing the scene from imagination or a script. Why embellish? Why recreate the emotion when people can see it themselves? When a story is pure, you don't need to edit it." Here's where things get confusing. After Rob McCoy's statement, Erika insisted that it was she who spoke to Mikey after the incident, not his father. Candace called this a moment that cannot be ignored. There are now 3 versions of the same event: the video, Rob's account, and Erika's version, and none of them match. The audience began to split. Some believed it was an honest mistake in the heat of the moment, but a growing number suspected a possible setup. Candace added that, from a media perspective, Erika's public praise of Mikey during her first appearance was unusual. After suffering a major loss, a person's first response is usually emotional, not strategic. Yet here, every word seemed deliberately chosen, as if guiding the audience toward a specific narrative. She concluded with a thought-provoking line. "In stories like this, it's not what you see that's frightening, it's what they want you to think you saw." Once the episode ended, social media erupted. Forums dissected every frame, analyzing Mikey's actions second by second. Some thought Candace was going too far, while others felt she was highlighting what everyone else was avoiding. A top comment read, "No one dares to ask questions because they're afraid. But when there are 3 versions of a story, the truth isn't in all of them." And Candace? One line on X, "Silence is not proof of innocence. Sometimes it's strategy." A single sentence, yet enough to plunge the online community into skepticism and endless curiosity. But Mikey McCoy and his father aren't the only figures Candace Owens is scrutinizing at Turning Point USA. In her latest statements, she shifted focus to Executive Director Tyler Bohr, accusing him of being at the center of ongoing questions about ethics and the use of power within the organization.
Another person who wrote us was telling me the story about Tyler Boyer's involvement in like Maricopa County politics in general. Like, what did he do before in Arizona? And yeah, it's just the kind of stories. Again, he said he approached him several times about embezzlement. You know, Tyler was hooking up with young interns, young male interns, or young male workers. And he didn't even care. He's like, I would go on record because all of this happened. And I had the proof that all of this happened. And everybody knows about Tyler Boyer at Turning Point USA. It's like an absurdity. But this is the person that is putting people into places of power at Turning Point USA.
Candace emphasized that this was not merely a personal matter, but a cultural issue of leadership within an organization that wields significant political and social influence. She stated, "It's hard to believe that someone surrounded by rumors and accusations holds the power to select the next generation of TPUSA leadership. If that's true, the entire power structure of this organization is built on sand." She also revealed that another source sent a letter detailing Tyler Boyer's role in Maricopa County, Arizona politics, where TPUSA has deep connections. According to the letter, Tyler had been suspected of lacking transparency in financial management. And Candace noted this wasn't the first time he had been questioned about embezzlement or personal gain. "I can't confirm every detail in the letter," Candace said. But coincidentally, every time someone asked questions about finances, they were either removed from the project or suddenly reassigned. Something was clearly wrong. The story became even more suspicious when Candace revealed that Tyler Boyer was rumored to have links to an orphanage in Ukraine. "Yes," she said, "that's exactly the kind of information that makes you put your hands on the table and ask, why does TPUSA have so many mysterious connections to foreign organizations, especially in Eastern Europe?" Candace pointed out that Erika Kirk had previously been connected to an orphanage in Romania through her charity, Romanian Angels, which she helped establish. Now, another key member, Tyler Boyer, was tied to a facility in Ukraine. 2 countries, 2 stories, same pattern. "If it's a coincidence," Candace said, "it's the strangest coincidence I've ever seen." She continued asking the question on everyone's mind. Wasn't Tyler Boyer the one who arranged the first interview between Charlie and Erika? If so, could he have guided the conversation from the start? And if so, was the entire relationship between Charlie and Erika truly a coincidence or part of a larger strategy? Candace admits her statements are still speculative, but she emphasizes that when the pieces start to fit together, you cannot ignore the picture. There are too many coincidences, too many strange connections, and too many powerful people acting as if they are above accountability. "What's frightening," she said, "is not the accusations themselves, but TPUSA's prolonged silence. When an organization stays silent in the face of legitimate questions, that's not protecting its reputation, that's losing credibility." She concluded with a chilling observation. Erika in Romania, Tyler in Ukraine, and Charlie in the middle. 3 lines that seem separate, but when you connect them, they intersect at one point, Turning Point USA. At that moment, the room fell silent. No one spoke, but the audience understood. Candace had just dropped a media bomb whose shockwaves would be felt for a long time. Then came a truly unusual revelation. Texas State Representative Tricia Hope revealed that Tyler Boyer, executive director of TPUSA, reached out to her after she posted a comment online suggesting Charlie Kirk's death was suspicious and unexplained. According to Tricia, the conversation quickly became tense. She asked TPUSA to release an official statement to clarify legal and technical details, not to respond to rumors. "I just asked basic questions," Tricia recalled. "Has there been an official autopsy? Have the results been released? And that bullet with the inscription everyone talks about? Did it really exist? If so, where is the evidence now?" Although Tricia's questions seemed reasonable, Tyler Boyer reportedly brushed them off, saying he couldn't waste time chasing fabrications. This prompted a bigger question. What part, if any, is fabricated? Candace immediately addressed this on her show. If questions about the autopsy, evidence, and transparency are dismissed as fabrications, does that mean the public cannot ask anything? Or is it because the real answers could implicate someone? Candace pointed out that the public has never been given clarity about a full autopsy report, nor the alleged lettered bullet. Early reports mentioned the object as a potential clue, but experts later argued that its size couldn't accommodate so many characters, and the topic was quickly removed from official accounts. Candace stated bluntly, "It's not a coincidence. When something highlighted in the media suddenly disappears, it means someone realized it didn't match and chose to remove it rather than explain it." What upset her most, she said, was the indifference of TPUSA and Erika Kirk. While the public asked questions, those at the center of the story focused on Candace, the only one persistently demanding answers. Instead of transparency, Candace said, they threatened her with litigation and tried to damage her reputation, spreading claims that she was out of control or experiencing postpartum psychosis. "I ask again," she said, looking directly into the camera. "Who is really panicking here? I am just a friend trying to find the truth about the death of someone I loved. If that makes me crazy, then the world has truly lost its sense of reason." The audience erupted in applause, and social media exploded with debate. Some sided with TPUSA, claiming Candace was exaggerating for attention. But a growing number argued that she was doing what insiders should have been doing all along, asking questions. One widely shared comment read, "If you really had nothing to hide, you wouldn't call someone crazy just for asking questions." Candace closed the show with a quiet but powerful line. "The truth doesn't need litigation. It just needs light." The room fell silent again, not out of fear, but because everyone understood one thing. The story of Charlie Kirk's death was far from over. According to public sources, the story continues to attract significant attention online. This report shares information of public interest, without confirming or speculating on anyone's private life. All content is for commentary and entertainment purposes only. Thank you for watching the video to the end. If you found this content engaging, please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below, because every opinion helps complete the story.